another episode of Our Weekend Tonic, the Sunday magazine coming to you live from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja. I am Ifoma Odinta Iranko. We have quite a package tonight. We shall be bringing to your viewing delights messages from the pulpits. It's Ramadan already, and a Ramadan lecture is in the offing. We have other stories such as birthday celebrations. We have something on culture, not forgetting our regulars, entertainment news, and sports brief. Do stay. We shall be right back. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now we begin on a religious note. As the glory of God rises, it brings forth evidence of his presence. This powerful message was at the heart of Apostle John Teshola's sermon at the Revival House of Glory International Church, Abuja. Odirio Guru Arutare brings us more inspiring messages from the pulpit.
The atmosphere was charged with praise and worship at the Revival House of Glory International Church, Rojik, in Abuja, following a 5-day program tagged Revival is Here Again International Conference. Guest preacher Apostle John Teshola from the USA took worshippers on a spiritual journey, exploring the topic, Accessing Glory through Double Grace.
We said the glory of God is defined as the fullness of the essence of God, meaning all that God represents.
I really believe that glory is the answer to darkness and difficulty and tempest and challenges and storms. And I want to believe that what the Lord has wrought here for the past 5 days in this conference will not only affect the lives of those who are participants, individuals, families, homes, but also it will have a ripple effect in our nation.
Similarly, at the Cherubim and Seraphim Movement Church in Dakibiu, District Leader Apostle Adedayo Anthony Bodunrin reminded Christian faithful of the glory of the Lord, adding that more evidence of God's presence would be seen in the country, especially as Christians enter the Lenten season this Wednesday.
Our theme for this year is double glory, and we believe God has done it for us. For whatever we make any request from him, he will do it unto us. To reference ourselves before God and to pray and fast, believing that anything we ask from God, God will do it unto us. So Nigeria should not be afraid. God has done a turnaround for us to move forward in whatever we want in this country.
And Christians have been advised to deploy fasting and prayers as weapons of warfare to all battles of life. That was the central message at our 3-day Benue Nasarawa Baptist Conference held in Marke Kokona local government area of Nasarawa State. Blessed Fulani reports.
The conference is the 24th annual session comprising of over 400 Baptist churches in Benue and Nasarawa states coming together to praise, worship, pray to God, as well as encourage one another. Guest preacher Reverend Jacob Bamidele says life's battles can only be won through fast and prayer. President, Benue Nasarawa Baptist Conference, Reverend Dr. Bulus Ali says the annual conference is an exercise intended to rejuvenate members spiritually.
So for every believer to excel in whatever spiritual challenge, whatever spiritual journey, whatever ministry, prayer and fasting is inevitable. It is a tool to success.
As Christians, we should love one another. We shall allow love to be our focal point. God, Christ is love.
Worshippers say the 3-day program has been impactful.
We have seen God at work in this convention. In fact, the attendance and the spiritual impartation has been so different.
It's all about kingdom business that God has assigned us to perform And we know that a nation without God has always been a chaos.
Come together to have some teachings, encouragement, and then prayer as a group. You know, when we pray as a group, God answers it fast.
The entire motive of the church, the global church, is to reach out to the unreached.
Theme of this year's conference is excelling in spiritual warfare through prayer and fasting.
In Islam, Almighty Allah commands leaders to uphold trust and dispense fairness between parties, exercising social justice with utmost sense. This Islamic principle, emphasizing Muslims' duties in nation building, was a central message at the Anwarul Huda League of Nigeria's annual Ramadan lecture in Abuja.
The noble prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam exemplified the ideal model for nation building and leadership founded on pillars of justice, unity, and responsibility when he established the first Islamic state in Medina, uniting people of diverse backgrounds for a common purpose. This Ramadan lecture reflected on this call, emphasizing the need for collective involvement through guidance, responsibility, devotion to justice, fairness, and righteousness in nationhood.
I don't want to see it as the problem of the authority, but I want to see it as the problem of our system. There is too much of freedom, liberality in our democracy.
Anwarul Huda League of Nigeria has annually utilized platforms like this to provide the Muslim Ummah opportunities to rekindle spirituality and faith, fostering moral discipline, empathy, increased consciousness of Allah, and strengthening relationship with Him as modeled by the seal of the prophets, guided by the glorious Quran.
Amongst our program in this Ramadan also include our annual Laylatul Qadr Night of Majesty lecture.
With this tenet, it will also enable us to live in harmony with other faiths.
Themed From Faith to Action: How Islam Inspires Nation Building and Social Justice. Other contributors urge leaders to develop Allah consciousness in daily affairs and make collective efforts to address economic instability, providing citizens with relief.
It's very apt because there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to do. The youth and all people in power and in positions.
The model of ruling the world itself is Islamic. That is what the English people copied to mean democracy, that's Shura, when you bring people together to form a government.
The lecture encouraged the Ummah to seek knowledge, nurturing unfettered nationalism.
And away from religious matters now, Disney One Day Foundation 5th Annual Day of the Disney Symposium was held at Esu Karu Palace, Nasarawa State. Correspondent Blessed Fulani reports that other charitable deeds formed part of the events.
We're united by action, we are Disney.
The anthem set the stage for the 5th annual celebration of Let Disney One, who passed away due to negligence by a medical professional. The incident resulted in the establishment of Disney One Foundation. It advocates for ethical conduct by medics, educating patients in collaboration with healthcare providers on certain health habits, drug usages and their side effects, rights of patients, improved healthcare service in Nigeria, among others. Founder and Chief Executive Officer of the foundation, Martins Obiwanne, says the advocacy and enlightenment have been yielding positive results.
The response has been awesome, in the sense that this is something that basically has touched everyone in our society. If there is if it's a professional misconduct, it should be treated as one, so that others should also learn from it.
The function affords stakeholders opportunity to brainstorm on how patients should be treated in the hospitals.
We need to get access to accurate information. That is vital. How do you access, say, ambulance services, for instance? How do you access the right hospitals you need to go to? How do you access the right consultants you need to meet at the right time? You know, it's important.
Some of the healthcare providers don't have sympathy, no empathy. So we want to encourage you that you are providing healthcare services. It doesn't mean that tomorrow you will not be the patient.
Every health professional is expected to give a touch to the life of any individual.
The icing on the cake were medical outreach, distribution of clothes to children and food to the needy.
When we have the little chips of
Patients need care and not glare.
Thank you, Blessing, for that report. Now, retirement is a milestone in the life of a civil servant, often marked with gratitude to God for a lifetime of service. This sentiment was evident as friends, colleagues, and family members gathered to celebrate Umfong Ibong Basi, our director at the Ministry of Science and Technology, on the occasion of his 60th birthday and retirement from service. Ramatu Abdullahi reports.
The event brought back fond memories of how it all began in the civil service as associates and colleagues of the celebrant. Dr. Basi took turns recounting how they met while serving. This evoked nostalgic feelings as if time had stood still, allowing guests to appreciate the celebrant's years of selfless service to the nation. They unanimously praised his outstanding qualities, which endeared him to people throughout his years of service and wished him many better years ahead.
That having graduated now into the Club of Senior Citizens, he will live graciously.
Yes, he's also a member. I was my senior in secondary school, and we've maintained that relationship ever since we left school till today.
This man has always been a pillar. Even though I am older than him, I retired before him, and this man has been like a father to every one of us in the family.
His works has stood the test of time, and he has been able to impact many sectors where he has served.
The celebrant, a scientist who previously served as director of the Federal Ministry of Health and director of the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, expressed heartfelt gratitude to God for the opportunity to serve.
The fear of God, the blessings to be on the country and on the people, that's enough to spur any positive-minded person to push things along, whatever sector the Lord gives you the privilege to function in.
Though the office takes most of his time, but he still finds out time to stay with the children and advise them, tutor them, and so on.
As part of the day's activities, the birthday cake was cut, sharing the joy and glory of the occasion. The Basi has indeed left an indelible mark on the civil service.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Thank you for staying tuned. Now, the Original Inhabitants Association of Abuja, while marking the 5th Heritage Day, emphasizes the need for unity as a watchword in order to have a greater future for the original inhabitants of Abuja. Moses Kuye reports that this was the cross of the 5th World Heritage Day held in Abuja.
The FCT Original Inhabitant Heritage Day is meant to showcase the rich cultural heritage of the 9 indigenous tribes in the Federal Capital Territory, namely Amwamwa, Basa, Egbura, Koto, Gana, Gbagi, Bari, and Gwandara. To showcase the peaceful and accommodating nature of these tribes to Nigerians living in the FCT, even in the face of cultural erosion.
That these Gbagi, Bari, Gede, Gana, Gwandara, Basa, Igbira, Koro, Amamwa, and Aluchi are here, that they are the original people here. If the government of Nigeria cannot give us anything, this language and their culture and their way of life should be seen everywhere in the Federal Capital Territory.
A non-partisan community-based organization seeking socio-economic, political, and cultural rights for the original inhabitants of the territory is using platforms such as these to unite for the greater good of all.
X-raying our differences and unite ourselves, certainly growth and development will emerge.
The group appreciates the infrastructural transformation being carried out by the FCT minister, which they say includes better opportunities for the original inhabitants of the territory.
When the federal capital was in Lagos, we had a state with the headquarters at Ikeja, with their local governments, with their house of assembly. Why are we not having it here?
The FCT Original Inhabitant Heritage Day also showcased traditional and cultural heritage of inhabitants of the FCT.
Still talking culture, Nigeria and Saudi Arabia cultural and bilateral ties got better strengthened with the Kirki chiefdom in the nation's capital, Abuja, hosting a Saudi cultural ambassador and social media influencer, Dr. Thawab Al-Subay, where the visitor was honored with a baggy name and accorded full traditional ritual of bearing a cultural name. Abdullahi Ajia witnessed the ritual and reception for the visitor and his entourage. I know you will want to see, so let's take a look.
The Garki chiefdom, under its traditional ruler and the custodian of the people's customs, norms and values, in partnership with the Department of Tourism FCT Social Development Secretariat, played host to the visitors, who were accorded the compliments of a traditional and cultural ceremony befitting of worthy ambassadors and friends of the chiefdom, irrespective of their geographical location. In an atmosphere that breeds mutual respect and exchange of pleasant moments, the visitors who were adopted by the Sapi as his children were given new baggy names of Akbomobodu, Shokwagu, and Shoknadu, came with a ritual of slaughtering an animal as tradition demands.
Doors are open for them, so the visitation shouldn't only stop by only saying we want to extend our cultural diversity. No, they should come and invest. We also request them that we have some youth who are also interested in the area of education. They should also come in to see what they can do.
For the host and dear visitors, Nigerians and Nigeria are great and wonderful people with unique and rich cultural diversity found in her cuisines and cultural relics.
We adopted them as our sons because we believe Nigeria and Saudi Arabia has a long-standing relationship for good.
For me, when I came here to Nigeria, this is the top of it. And if it's the top of 3 or 5 experiences that I've done in my life in the travel. Of course, I love to do cultural exchange, especially with countries. When we go deep dive inside the communities, it's the key to understand, to learn, to explore, and to share.
This PhD ceremony is meant to name people, especially foreigners, who come into the FCT, and we give them Nigerian names.
With happy shared and shared moments, both parties said the historic experience will open up more bilateral and cultural friendship between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia while strengthening existing one.
Very well said there, Abdullahi. Thank you for bringing us that interesting report. Let's now join our entertainment desk for some entertainment news.
And on entertainment news this week, actor and producer Funke Akindele has described herself as self-made. The movie star stated that she owes her success in the film industry to none other than God. Speaking at the Media Independent Practitioners Association of Nigeria 2025 Media Sales Conference in Lagos, Akindele explained that her success in the film industry was due to her hard work and dedication. She, however, admitted that veteran singer D'banj played a significant role in her career success. Funke Akindele came into limelight after starring in the popular sitcom I Need to Know, which ran from 1998 to 2002. Her big break came in 2008 when she starred in the movie Jennifer. She holds the record for the highest grossing producer in Nigeria's cinema. Meanwhile, Nigerian singer Oludipe Oluwasanmi Samuel, popularly known as Spyro, has declared that he will not marry until he amasses 500 million naira in his account. The Who Is Your Guy crooner made the disclosure in a post shared on his official Instagram page while he was reflecting on his challenging upbringing. Spyro disclosed that he has fought, cried, and prayed so that his children will never have to go through what he went through while growing up. So he puts himself to rigorous work. And on the foreign scene, Hollywood actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog were found dead in their New Mexico home on Wednesday afternoon. Officials said there was no immediate indication of foul play in the death of the couple. The Academy Award-winning actor starred in The French Connection, The Conversation, and The Royal Tenenbaums, among dozens of other Hollywood hits. He died at the age of 95. Also, veteran soul and R&B singer Angie Stone has died at the age of 63. According to Deadline, Angie passed away after being involved in a Sprinter van accident in Alabama, US. The accident occurred as she was leaving a performance early that morning in Montgomery. The 3-time Grammy nominee's daughter, Diamond Stone, confirmed the sad news on social media. Angie rose to fame as a member of The Sequence, the first all-female group signed to Sugar Hill Records.
And that's it on Sunday Magazine for this week. We thank you for always being part of it. Let's do this again, same time next week. Till then, I am Ifeoma Ojinta. Do have a fruitful week.